In 2019, I led a team of 3 first-semester computer science students to win the United Nations World Summit on the Information Society Hack for Education. And these are my top 3 tips for how to pitch a winning solution. And these tips are inspired by Simon Sinek's Start With Why. And that's our first tip. Number 1, start with why. Why is your solution relevant, either from a technical perspective or from a societal perspective? Now, usually a hackathon will start with a problem. And so the temptation may be just to restate the problem that you were given. But I think this is super lame because often the jury already knows what problem you've been given. What they want to see from you is how you interpret that problem, how you understand the problem from your own perspective and from the perspective of your team. So don't restate the problem that you were given, but reinterpret it in your own imagination and explain why your solution is relevant for that specific technical problem or social issue. Tip number 2, how will your solution solve the problem? Now, the tendency here is to go right into the functions of your solution and try to explain what it is that your solution does. But it's really important for the jury that you connect the ways in which your solution solves a problem. So it's not good enough to just go straight into what your problem does. You need to be able to explain how your problem creates value and in which ways it solves the problem that you talked about in the why. So you're going to have to move up one step from what your solution does to try to think on a higher level about how your solution solves a specific problem. And then finally, what you've all been waiting for, the last tip is all about the what. So number 3, what specifically does your solution do? Now, it's important here to be clear and concrete. A lot of times innovators try to hide behind creating solutions that do everything for everyone, or they make implicit assumptions that they may not see, but the jury can pick out very easily. So be very concrete, be very specific. And this means you're going to have to be brave. This means that if you think your solution can solve a very specific problem, you need to lean into that and spell it out for them. Show them in what concrete ways your solution solves that specific problem. So top 3 ways of making a pitch that'll help you win a hackathon. Number 1, start with why. Number 2, be able to articulate how your solution creates value. And number 3, be able to specify what your solution does. And here's a bonus tip. No matter how much time you're given, spend 20% of that time explaining the why, spend 30% of the time explaining the how, and use 50% of the time explaining the what. So if you've got a 10-minute pitch, 2 minutes on the why, 3 minutes on the how, 5 minutes on the what. Good luck, you're going to do amazingly well.